So tutorial 8 is about using eval. This allows us to set up maths questions where we basically generate random types of question. So we go straight into WIZZKWIZ, and if we click on this button here, we'll see all the different tutorials, one of which you are watching at the moment. And here we have the maths syntax and allowable functions. So all mathematics expressions, if you want it to actually evaluate something, if you want WIZZKWIZ to evaluate an expression, you have to put it between these delimiters eval and /eval. All variables in WIZZKWIZ must start with W underscore, capital W underscore. The syntax is essentially JavaScript, as you'll see from the if then else statement. So it must be in that form. So normal bracket for the condition. Then the Boolean test functions are double equals for is equal to, colon equals for not equal to, and then the other ones less than or equal to, less than, greater than or equal to, or greater than, or as you'd normally expect. And then the true block is within curly braces, and the false block is also within curly braces. Individual expressions are then separated with a semicolon. So that is essentially all we need to know in terms of the syntax. Only other detail is arrays, which you put in square brackets like that. Okay, and then the first element of the array is 0. So you can see the first element there is 1. So W0 is 1. Second element is 3. So W1 is 3. And then WIZZKWIZ only allows certain words to be used because we don't want people doing do loop until and sort of killing the whole system with a loop until something that never happens. So there are only certain words that are allowed, but there's quite a lot in terms of doing the mathematics, and it should mean that vast majority of normal type things you are able to do. Okay, so let's try a couple of basic examples. We've already seen the example doing a times table type question. So let's do something just a tiny bit more sophisticated. Let's do a question which asks for the lowest common multiple of two randomly generated numbers. Okay, so it's going to be a numerical type question because we're going to ask for a purely numerical type answer. So what I think it's probably key stage 3. I'm not always completely sure. Let's assume it's key stage 3. And we're also, as usual, just going to put in that keyword so we can find it straight away. And we want to have the question, what is the lowest common multiple of? And when you're asking initially, when you're setting up one of these questions, the easiest way to do it is to just not worry about the randomly generating the questions. Just put in a couple of numbers and take it from there. Okay, so 8 and 12. Answer would in that case be 24, and that's it. Okay, that is essentially it. We don't have to do anything else. We could just leave that question as it is, test that question is working. Yep, that's fine. But we would like to replace the 8 with a random number and the 12 with a random number. Okay, that'll be much better. So let's do that. And so you really should just go to where the number is and then put eval and /eval and then put whatever expression you want in here. So you need to assign a variable to it because we're going to have to work out the answer later. So let's say random step 1, 12, 1. We easily make the question more difficult. We could make that 20 rather than 12. Okay, and the second number we're also going to replace with eval, this time WB equals random step 1, 12, 1. Okay, so now we can test again. We just keep testing it, see what happens, see if we get numbers that appear to be randomly generated as we would like. Okay, that's fine. Now what we're going to do, well, the thing now is WIZZKWIZ is set up, so it's got all the kind of functions you would typically generally want. Okay, so if we go down here, reading through all these functions, here we notice LCM. Okay, it does exactly what we'd expect it to do. In that case, 18 and 24 returns 72. Okay, so the answer, again, take this number, replace it with eval and /eval, and W answer equals WA times, lowest common multiple of WA and WB. So test it again. 10 and 8, 40, yep. 6 and 12, 12, yep. 4 and 8, 8. 9 and 4, 36. 11 and 11, 11. 7 and 12, 84. Okay, so as you'd expect, that's all working perfectly well. What comments might you put in there? Well, you could put in what each of the two calculations are, for example. So in this case, supposing, let's just get a slightly better one. Okay, so lowest common multiple of 6 and 3 is 6, so that's because 6 times 1 is 6, and 3 times 2 is 6. So let's see if we can actually put that in the comments. Okay, so eval WA, close eval, times, I'm going to have to change that to \times at the moment, and then what am I timesing it by? Well, it's going to be W answer divided by WA, and then equals W answer. Okay, so there we go. You can see how that's working now. 8 times 11 equals 88. 1 times 11 equals 11. 5 and 12 is 60, so 5 times 12. We get one with genuine, so there, 2 and 6. 2 times 3 is 6, so that's one comment. Then the next comment, just copy that and paste that there. So WB times W answer over WB equals W answer, and test question, just need to put in a line break. Okay, so 12 times 7 equals 84, 7 times 12 equals 84, 12 and 12, so it's 12 times 1 is 12, and 12 times 1 is 12. 2 and 2, let's get one that works a bit better, so you've got two substantially non-co-prime numbers, so that's good. 8 and 10, that's because 8 times 5 is 40 and 10 times 4 is 40. So you can see the comments there are quite helpful in terms of explaining how this question works. So we can submit that question. Question ID 3286, and we could try to see if that appears to work okay. So what's the lowest common multiple of 5 and 8? It's going to be 40. There you go. What's the lowest common multiple of 2 and 9? 18. There you go. Okay, so that question's working fine, but can we improve that question? So if we go into edit questions, and one way of searching for questions is to use the keyword system. So now we get all the questions we've put on this keyword. Okay, if I put in the D, I'm just going to get just that one question I've just put in. But take out the D, I'll get all questions with that keyword. Okay, so if I go down to the bottom, I'm going to get the last one I've just put in. So now I could leave that question in because it's alright. So I don't want to delete, copy and edit. I want to do copy and edit. I want to improve this question. One way of improving this question is to make it more often the case that the numbers are not co-prime. So what I could do is WC equals random step 2, 6, 1, say. Then WA equals that times WC, and WB equals that also times WC. Now there's going to be you're not going to get co-prime numbers, so the question should actually become quite a lot more interesting with much more examples where you've got genuinely not co-prime. Okay, so 20 and 8, for example, it's not just 20 times 8 this time. It's 40 because it's 20 times 2 and 8 times 5. Okay, so that sort of little trick where you know what kind of question you want to set, thinking in this way, and it's always the case, you think in this kind of way to make questions work in a cleverer and neater way. Okay, and the other thing we could do to really tidy it up and make it look nice is to put in the answers, instead of having this sort of rather dirty sort of notation, we can do it into LaTeX form. So I now need to do curly brace and asterisk there, and curly brace and asterisk and curly brace there, and you can see that's working quite nicely. So 60 and 24, 120, you can see. And let's submit that question. And see how that works. So 5 and 11, 55. That's because we've still got that in. So let's do DAH 2020 0213D. We get our new type of question, 8 and 36. That's going to be 72. 5 and 11, 55. Well, that's 3286. 3287, which we've just put in. So we're getting a slightly sort of nicer type question. Okay, so you can see now how easy it is to sort of improve the questions. Make the comments a bit more coherent. So I'll stop this tutorial here, and then we'll look at some other examples in the next tutorial.